Well, hello everybody. This is Eric Mers with Delighted Coaching Business Growth Solutions. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to get $10,000 to $100,000 in any business in 90 days. You might be thinking that's a bold claim, and I would agree with you. That is a bold claim. But if we don't go after something large, we're probably not going to get anything in terms of gain. So I like to go after things that are large. Let's start out by talking about the advertising formula, because this is one of the areas where we often find opportunities for businesses to grow. This particular doctor had a website, Dr. John Smith. He's a very good doctor. He helped children who had behavioral problems. So he helped families who had children who had behavioral problems. And he was doing a Facebook ad and running people to his website. This looks very professional. He had a video on here explaining how he worked with folks, and then an offer to get a free consultation, to call and get that 30-minute conversation. While this looks very professional, it's not very compelling to the prospect. There's not too much engaging going on here. He was averaging about 300 leads per month coming in from Facebook, and of those, about 10 of those actually he would have 10% consent to show up for the consultation. And all three of those become new patients. And that represents the typical 1% conversion rate. Now, my partner, Adrian Olsch, looked into this and decided to create a squeeze page, not change anything on the Facebook, but change the squeeze page to run with the advertising formula of interrupt, engage, educate, and offer. So, are you sick and tired of the yelling and screaming and belligerent attitude of your child? That's the interrupt. Anybody who has a child like that is going to perk up and listen to what the next statement is, which is, now you can discover the secrets to controlling your child and instantly restore peace and quiet in your home. That's the engagement piece. Now, once they're engaged, they want to be educated. So they're going to watch the video that Dr. John Smith has. And then he's going to talk about signing up by putting your first name and your email address to learn the secrets to gaining and maintaining control of your child in less than 60 seconds. Now, what parent who has a child with behavioral problems wouldn't want to know this? And by the way, they're going to become part of the DRIP program for the future growth of this organization. So this compelling offer here of learn the secrets in gaining, maintaining complete control of your child in less than 60 seconds is going to really speak to the prospect. The results were dramatic. Still had only 300 leads per month because we didn't change the Facebook ad at all. And of those, though, we had 60 request the offer, and of those 6 or 10% consented to actually have the consultation. So this doubled the number of patients we were growing by from 3 to 6. The average sale value at $800 per month brought in $2,400 a month increase, or $28,800 in annual revenue increase, just by making some changes to this landing page or squeeze page. Now, let me show you some other ways that we work with the profit growth calculator. You can see the baseline on the left-hand column. We had 1,000 leads for this customer, this client, and they had 25% conversion rate. They had 10 transactions per customer, 100 higher prices. They had $100 as an average ticket and 25% net profit. Now, with just a 10% increase across the board, they went from $62,500 profit to $100,000 and $490 profit. Now, the last column here is a 50% increase across the board, brought the total net profit to $474,187. You might think 50% is a huge increase. Well, if you break it down, it's only 1% per week increase. So as some of these things may be difficult to do that with, certainly some of them aren't. Another way we can look at this, if we look at a typical small business that makes $1 million in revenue and has cost of goods of $500,000 or 50% and a gross profit of $500,000, and they have an overhead of $250,000, Their total cost is $750,000, leaving them with a net income of $250,000. That's nothing to sneeze at. This is a good little business. But let's just make a few small changes. If we increase the revenue by increasing the prices by just 5%, the revenue would go up to $1,050,000. And if we could reduce the cost of goods sold by increasing efficiencies or reducing the input costs to $475,000 off the $500,000 originally, our gross profit margin would go up to $575,000 or $75,000 increase. And then if we reduce the overhead by a small 5%, that's taking it from $250,000 to $237,500. That will give us a total cost of $712,500 versus the $750,000. And then adding the increased revenue by the price increase and that increased gross profit margin and the reduction in the overhead to bring us to a net income of $337,500 or an $87,500 increase. That's a 35% increase in profit. Another way to show this is graphically. We have the $1 million business. We have the total cost of $750,000. And you can see the break-even point is where these two lines meet. The total cost is the overhead plus the cost of goods sold as it goes up. So at this rate here, it's somewhere around $550,000 is our net, our place where we start having net profit. We call this the golden triangle, and the wider this triangle gets, the more profit we have. Now, in the example that I gave you previously, where we just increased the price by 5% and reduced the cost of goods by 5% and reduced the overhead cost by 5%, you can see that the golden triangle here is starting to widen out. And that's what we want the business to do. The wider that gets, the more increased the net profit is. Another way to show this is revenue at $1 million goes to $1,050,000. Total cost goes from $750,000 to $712,000. Gross profit goes from $500,000 to $575,000. And then the net profit goes from $250,000 to $337,000. Now you might be asking yourself, well, that's all well and good, but how do we get there? Well, we get there by starting today with the 10K challenge and assess where you are and where you want to be. And then we talk about the assessment and analysis phase of the profit and loss statement, the balance sheet, interviews, and other data and key factors. In these first 90 days, we want to get all that in, as well as plan and set goals, plan actions, and collect some low-hanging fruit, implement the changes, measurements, and accountability necessary to move forward, and continue the growth and make adjustments as needed to attain the desired results, all in the first 90 days of working together. So are you ready to get started? Let's get started growing your profit today.